this ain't going to be a long video. I'm going to say it right now. This ain't going to be long because it don't need to be long because what the hell did I just see? When you look at the build going into, see, I'm getting frustrated here. Look, Dynasty's 11 days away. We get this show. And it feels rushed. And in some parts feel forced. Now, there were things here that were good. Yes. But what? Look. Oh, I'm going to go through the matches quickly. Kenny Omega versus Blake Christensen. Or Christian. No, Christian. Or Christensen? I can't remember. It's been a while. I remember seeing him on NWA. I remember seeing him on TNA. And now he's been on OH. And now this is the first time that I've seen him in a while on Dynamite. And I'm thinking, okay, where's the bill for this? Why are we getting an international match? Unless it wasn't an international match. If I remember correctly, it's not a match. But it looked like it was a match for the title. And, sorry, I'm getting hoarse a little bit. And I'm like, what the hell? You couldn't even bother to advertise the damn match. To give Blake something. To give us something. And it pissed me off. Now, I'm going to be honest here. This is not about the match quality. Why did we have to have the match in the first place? Wouldn't it have been better to have a segment between Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey? You could have done the same thing. Because, remember, Ricochet just got married. Fine. You could have still done the video pack. The video. Fine. And you could have still had Speedball the way he was. Fine. But why wouldn't it have been more... What? I think they should have done the segment. Even if it was 6 or 7 minutes. At least it would have been something better than just seeing Kenny do a match. Even though he said, I wish I could do these matches more often. Well, I wouldn't mind seeing him doing them more often if there were builds to them. We can't just have our champions constantly having matches that don't mean anything. I'm just saying. Next. Brody King versus Kyle Fletcher. And I'm like... what did I just witness? Yes, I saw what happened with Powerhouse Hobbs talking about how he's going to get the Don Callis family back. Yes. Then we get this match where it wasn't stupid. It looked very comedic at first. When you look at Kyle Fletcher getting his ass kicked by Brody King. Yes, I understand that. And it wasn't a bad match. But then I'm like... where are we going when it comes to Kyle, Mark Davis, and the most important person, a Powerhouse Hobbs? What does it really give Powerhouse Hobbs? What? I don't know. He didn't come out from the Titantron. He came out from the fans. Fine. But we need something more. We need something that will mean something eventually. And we got 11 days. We got only... one more Dynamite, and supposedly Collision's not going to mean much once we do the show, because whatever they film for Collision, a lot of people are not going to look at it, and then it's not going to make much sense. So the next Dynamite is it, and unless we get something special from Don, Fletcher, Mark Davis, or Powerhouse Hobbs himself, it doesn't mean a lot. Then we got Hobbs and Davis. And what do we really get? We get Davis getting his ass handed to him. And I'm like, oh, and if anybody's saying, dude, what about the buckle, what about the buckle when you see Brody King getting nailed, that buckle bomb? Oh, it's not a buckle bomb, but basically he does the brain buster on the turnbuckle. It looked terrible. It looked dangerous. That's a good thing, but it doesn't have a major story behind it. I had to say it. But then we get Powerhouse Hobbs beating Davis, but what did we really get? Did you really need a match between them? Couldn't you wait until next week? Couldn't you build them up to have a match next week? No. So it didn't really mean much. Mark Davis really doesn't feel like anything. Now, Top Flight versus Jobbers. Now, they were in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I believe it's Minnesota. And let's make it very clear. seeing Top Flight as home guys, no problem, hometown boys. And they were allowed to win. But then you could see the Leo Rush in action and Andretti outside. Doesn't really mean much because still, we don't really see a lot of it on Dynamite. And Collision, I've only seen a little bit of it. So their feud needs more. They need something. It would be good if it was a title, but there isn't. You guys tell me below if I'm right or not. Next, Kateska versus Mark Briscoe. What does this give Kateska beating Mark Briscoe, who looked like he spit out one of his teeth at one point when he's biting Kateska on the head? I don't know. Ever since he lost the International Championship and lost it to Kenny, I don't know where they're going to go with him. I'm literally like, Kateska had been pushed. But then, where is he going now? Is he going to be in Owen Hart tournament? I don't know. I don't remember. Now let's talk to the stuff in the back. Let's talk about Rated FTR. What did we really get? I don't know. Are they really teasing the breakup? Or is this trying to make it easier for Death Riders to lose the titles so they will have something to bring them together? I'm kind of torn on it. I don't know which one it is. If it's just to set them up so they can win, it really wasn't enough. If this was set up to continue putting a wedge between FTR and Adam Copeland and seeing that Cash Wheeler is the one who's caught between them both because he's friends with both of them and considers them both his best friends. And I'm like, okay, Cash Wheeler is the one who's caught in the middle. How are they going to make this work if they go down the route of splitting up FTR and splitting up Rated FTR? That's if that is going where it's going. Because they could just do that so it'll make it easier for them to actually win the Trios title because that's what they want. And I will not lie, the way they were trying to explain what happened when it came to Dax, not Dash. Dax, it feels half-baked. That's the way it felt. It felt forced, and it felt half-baked to me personally. Since this is 11 days away from Dynasty, the thing that gets me is that things feel rushed. Look at Death Riders. They said, oh, you're challenging us? How dare you challenge us? We're challenging you. What? We're challenging you to survive us? Are you serious? Are you serious? They've been beating their ass for weeks, Death Riders. It doesn't mean they've been winning matches, it's just been beating them up. And now we're daring them to challenge them, the ones that literally have been beating you up. Why would you even take the challenge? It feels forced. Now, the best segments were the two ones that I liked. That was, let me give it to you like this. When it came to Moxley and Swerve, I did enjoy it. I don't know about anybody else, but I did enjoy it. At least they gave Swerve some time to explain and to talk back to Moxley, how he felt about Moxley, how he was the gold standard at one point, but now he looks like a bitch. And then Moxley talking back, saying that he is the one that he's been waiting for to see if he is the one that is going to make sure that this company is going to be better. So I can understand that. Then seeing, you guys tell me below, when was the last time Marina Shafir did anything? Anything. Without the Death Riders. They have never promoted her to go for the TBS title or the world title. Not Claudio's been there, not Pac had been there, not Wheeler Yuta, or even Jon Moxley. Nothing. She's done nothing but be the one to hold that title briefcase. And to beat up some people when she could. Now you see her angry at Willow. Which I still don't understand completely why Willow is pissed off at her. And then Willow out there because Swerve was out there, or because she just wanted Marina Shafir, because Marina came out with a crowbar, dropped the crowbar, walked away, then decided to grab her, and then they started fighting. And if you didn't notice, Willow wasn't wearing a bra. That girl's titties were bouncing every freaking where. But the point here is this. Whether you like Willow's boobs or you liked Marina Shafir's boobs, do you like the feud between them? And what is the feud about? What did Marina Shafir do to Willow Nightingale? I don't even remember, or if anything even happened. She just was angry at her. Now, mind you could tell me below if it happened on Collision or RHTV, because I have stated I have not been able to see all of Collision. So I don't know if Marina Shafir did anything, but I'm like, what caused this? The only thing I see is Marina Shafir angry at a Willow who's not wearing a bra, who came out to try and get Marina Shafir, who had a crowbar, where Willow had a pipe. And I'm like, yeah, I know you could say, dude, what happened with Adam Copeland? She came out with that. Yeah, but what started it before that? Tell me what started it before she came out with Cope and Switchblade Jay White, because I don't know. The other segment I liked was the Hurt Syndicate and MJF. MJF came out, called out his boy, a Montel. Well, let me give it to you like this with MVP. I liked MVP more when he was in TNA than I liked him in WWE. There ain't no lie. I liked him more when he was in TNA because they gave him more reins, more freedom to do more. The Hurt Business was a stem off of what happened with what he did in TNA. And I've always thought he did a good job in TNA, which he carried it over to WWE and made the Hurt Business, and now he's made the Hurt Syndicate that is over like stink. People are chanting, "We hurt people." That shows how over he is to get it over with the rest of his boys. So when you see that MJF said, okay, let's do some business, we see the tag champs come out, and you see Bobby facing ready to break his face and say, "Give me the card," rips it up, and now they're at odds because when it comes to Bobby, he don't want him in there. When it comes to Shelton, he don't want him in there because Bobby don't want him there. Of course, he doesn't want him either. And then there is MVP who says, I want him in there because of all the bad qualities he has can help us make great business. I enjoyed that. That was the thing I liked the most out of the entire show. What I didn't like, I'm going to make this very clear. What I did, almost forgot. You guys tell me below. Max Caster getting choked out by Samoa Joe because Hooked enjoyed choking him out? What the fuck is going on? What are they really doing with Max? No, I don't even know what they're doing with Max. I don't. You guys tell me below what you think. If this was a Kurt Hawkins treatment back in WWE where he lost so many matches that people began to believe in him, you could say that. But Max is a heel. Kurt Hawkins was a heel but then started transitioning to a face. I don't even know what he is. And seeing him get choked out by Samoa Joe next after he was choked out by Hook. And I'm like, where are they going with Max? I don't even know. I'm confused. But the last match, did they really let the pin happen to Toni Storm? Here's the thing. Was the match bad? No. You let Thunder Rosa do the heavy lifting of the entire match. And that was fine. And I could have easily went with Thunder Rosa pinning a Penelope Forbes. No problem. But you let Penelope Forbes not take the pin. You didn't let Thunder Rosa pin her. You let Bane pin the champ. And under normal circumstances, that's a telegraph saying that Toni Storm is not losing. And I'm like, Megan Bayne, who has not had time to really build herself up, who has just been a monster like Camille was, who now is not even on TV either because she's injured or they just have her at home because they don't know what to do with her. You have Megan Bayne pin Toni Storm, who looked like she had a nervous breakdown in the ring, and you actually believe, I'm going to believe, that they are going to give her the damn title. Now, mind you, they could. But then it makes it worse because Megan Bayne has no character, no story, and get this. If she did win, guess what she would end up like? Think about it. Who would she end up like? Mercedes Moné, who has 4 freaking titles, who feels completely empty. And now I found out, I did find that I'm so angry right now. Guess who's not in AEW anymore? If you don't know, Saraya is no longer in AEW. She actually supposedly walked away from the company and then they fired her. The one story they could have done that would have had huge traction would have been Mercedes Moné versus Saraya. But now that'll never happen. Saraya, unless she goes maybe to TNA and could have a life there, because she could go there, where's she going to go now? WWE, well, the old WWE, did not want her to wrestle because there was a liability because of her neck. Now, she went to AEW. Now, the only option she has would be to probably get hired by TNA, which does have some type of contract, easily some type of contract with TKO WWE, and they can't stop them from hiring her, but she could be kept off TKO WWE TV unless they're willing to do it because they have seen that she has improved. That's just how it is. Unless they change their policy with what's been going on and they may take her back, I don't think they will. But the point is, she's gone. And now we'll never get that match. And now I look at Megan Bayne, who obviously looks like she's not going to beat the Thunder Tits. I know, I didn't say it earlier. I'm like, that interview saying we are not the Thunderstorms, we are the Thunder Tits. And then we get this. I don't believe Megan Bayne will beat a Toni Storm. And even if she does, what do we really gain with Megan Bayne being the current AEW champion? It would have been better if you had Mercedes Moné go up against Toni Storm than Megan Bayne go up against Toni Storm. Megan Bayne going up against Toni Storm. That's how it feels. I'm like, really? I could be seeing this in a totally wrong direction. Why don't you guys tell me below what you think? Peace.